Look at your hands. Trace the lines on your palms. For your entire life, you have been told that these hands belong to you, that your thoughts are private, that your memories are a locked vault. We live in a world of closed individualism. We believe we are separate islands in a vast, uncaring ocean. I am here, you are there, and the gap between us is infinite. But what if I told you that this gap is the greatest illusion ever sold to humanity? What if you have lived every life? What if you have felt the sting of every betrayal, the warmth of every first kiss, and the final breath of every creature that has ever crawled upon this earth? This is not just a poetic thought. It is a rigorous philosophical position known as Open Individualism. It suggests that there is only one observer in the entire universe, a single eye looking through billions of different eyes. In this video, we are going to dismantle the borders of the self. We're going to look at why Nobel Prize-winning physicists and gloomy German philosophers reached the same startling conclusion. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean, experiencing itself through a single drop. To understand the gravity of open individualism, we first have to look at how we've been conditioned to see ourselves. There are three primary ways to define a person, and most of us are trapped in the first one without even knowing it. This is the standard view, or closed individualism. It's the belief that you are a singular biological event. You started at birth, you will end at death, and your self is tied to your specific brain and body. In this view, you are like a book on a shelf. You have a beginning, an end, and you are physically separate from every other book. When the book is burned, the story is gone forever. This is the foundation of modern law, ethics, and our deepest fears. It makes us feel safe, but it also makes us feel profoundly alone. Then there is the more radical, empty individualism. Popularized by philosophers like Derek Parfit and ancient Buddhist traditions, this view suggests that there is no permanent you at all. You are not a book. You are a river. The water in the river is constantly changing. The cells in your body are replaced every 7 years. Your memories fade and rewrite themselves. If I look at a photo of you as a 5-year-old, is that really you? You don't share the same atoms, the same thoughts, or the same dreams as that child. Empty individualism says that identity is a fiction we create to make sense of a stream of consciousness. There is no self, only a sequence of experiences. But then we have the third option, the one that feels like a glitch in the matrix. Open individualism. It agrees with the empty view that there is no permanent person, but it reaches a completely different conclusion. It suggests that while the content of our lives is different, the context is exactly the same. Think of it this way. Imagine 1,000 different television sets in a giant room. Each one is playing a different movie. One is a comedy, one is a tragedy, one is a documentary. A closed individualist looks at the screens and says, "Those are 1,000 different things." But an open individualist looks closer and realizes it's all the same electricity powering every single one of them. The I that feels like me inside my head is the exact same I that feels like you inside yours. The memories, the names, and the bodies are just the movies being played. But the light, the raw, subjective experience of being, is a singular, universal constant. You aren't the movie. You are the light. And that light is currently shining through 8 billion different screens. This idea that we are all one shared consciousness might sound like a New Age fever dream, but some of the most rigorous minds in history didn't just consider it, they were convinced of it. Enter Arthur Schopenhauer, a man known for his crushing pessimism. Yet he found a strange, haunting beauty in this unity. Schopenhauer argued that the world we see, space, time, and matter, is just a veil. He called it the principium individuationis, the principle of individuation. To him, we are like a single massive body of water that has been poured into millions of different glass vases. We look at the vases and say, look, millions of different waters. But if the glass breaks, the water remains what it always was, one. Schopenhauer believed that our ego is just the glass. When you feel compassion for someone else, he argued, it's because you are momentarily breaking the glass and recognizing yourself in them. You aren't being kind to a stranger, you are recognizing a different version of your own will. But it wasn't just the philosophers. The father of quantum mechanics, Erwin Schrödinger, the man who gave us the most famous cat in science, held the exact same view. Schrödinger was haunted by the multiplicity problem. He looked at the math of the universe and saw a singular reality, yet he looked at the world and saw billions of separate people. How could both be true? He turned to the ancient Indian texts of the Upanishads and reached a conclusion that most of his peers found scandalous. He wrote, "Consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown." Schrödinger argued that consciousness is like a light that produces 1,000 shadows. You see the shadows, the individual people, and you think they are separate entities, but there is only one light. He believed that the idea of many minds is a grand illusion created by the physical structure of our brains. In reality, there is only one mind in the universe, experiencing itself through every nervous system it can find. Think about the implications. If Schrödinger and Schopenhauer were right, your birth wasn't the creation of a new soul. It was just the universe opening another eye. And your death? It's not the end of the observer, it's just the closing of one eye while billions of others remain wide open. While modern physics and German pessimism give us the how, storytelling gives us the why. You might have encountered this concept in a short story that took the internet by storm, The Egg by Andy Weir. The story imagines a man who dies and meets God, but the twist isn't a judgment or a heaven. God explains that the man is actually being reincarnated as every human being who has ever lived. He was Abraham Lincoln, and he was the man who assassinated him. He was every saint, and he was every tyrant. God's message is simple. Every time you victimize someone, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. As beautiful as this story is, it's not just a modern fiction. It's the rebirth of an idea from the 12th century called monopsychism, championed by the Islamic philosopher Averroes. Averroes argued that while our senses are individual, my eyes see this, your ears hear that, the intellect, the actual spark of understanding, is a single, unified thing shared by all of humanity. He believed that when we die, our personal memories, the data, might vanish, but the processor, the one who experiences, continues in everyone else. This creates a radical shift in how we view the other. In open individualism, the stranger across the street isn't just someone with a different life, they are you, just in a different timeline, with different parents and different scars. If this is true, then human history is not a collection of billions of separate stories. It is a single, massive, sprawling autobiography of one consciousness trying to understand itself from every possible angle. But this leads us to a heavy question. If we are all the same person, why don't I feel your pain? Why don't I remember your childhood? The answer lies in the hardware. If you plug two different microphones into the same recording station, they will capture two different sounds. They don't know what the other is hearing, but the electricity recording them is one and the same. Our brains are the microphones. Consciousness is the electricity. We are biologically designed to be local, but ontologically, we are universal. If we accept open individualism, the walls of our moral world don't just crack, they vanish. In our current world of closed individualism, we treat empathy as a choice. We think, I should be kind to you because it is the right thing to do. But under the light of the one mind, kindness isn't a moral luxury. It's self-preservation. If I hurt you, I am not hurting a stranger. I am setting a trap for myself in a different life. Every act of cruelty is a debt that I will eventually have to pay, and every act of love is a gift that I will eventually receive. Ethics becomes a cosmic feedback loop. As the philosopher Milan Gunther put it, the golden rule is no longer a command, it's a description of reality. But there is an even deeper consequence, one that touches our greatest fear: death. Most of us view death as the ultimate off switch. We fear the void, the end of the story, the light going out forever. But if you are the universal observer, death loses its sting. In open individualism, you don't die any more than the sun dies when it sets in one city. It is always noon somewhere. When this specific body, the one you currently call mine, ceases to function, the I does not vanish. It simply continues its experience through the billions of other bodies already in existence. You have died 1 trillion times already. You have been buried in every graveyard on Earth. And yet, here you are. You are the survivor of every tragedy and the heir to every victory. You are the constant in a universe of variables. This realization brings a terrifying but beautiful kind of peace. It means you can never truly be lost. It means that the person you miss, the one you lost to the grave, hasn't actually gone anywhere. You are looking at them every time you look in the mirror. You are hearing their voice every time a stranger speaks. The you that is limited by a name and a social security number is a temporary mask. The you that is the witness of existence is eternal. We spend our lives building walls. We define ourselves by our differences, our nations, our religions, our unique little traumas. We cling to the idea of me because the alternative feels like disappearing. But open individualism suggests that disappearing is actually the ultimate homecoming. If we are all the same I, then the wall between us was never made of stone. It was made of forgetting. We are like a giant who has fallen asleep and is dreaming he is 1 billion different ants, all fighting each other for a single crumb. One day, the giant will wake up and realize he was only ever fighting himself. The next time you walk down a busy street, don't just look at the people passing by. Look at them. Look into the eyes of the stranger, the beggar, the executive, the child. Beneath the surface of their skin and the noise of their thoughts, there is a familiar light. It is the same light that is behind your eyes right now. You aren't just observing the world, you are the world observing itself. You are the great mirror, shattered into 1 billion pieces, each piece thinking it is alone, yet each piece reflecting the exact same sun. It's a lot to take in, and honestly, even if you believe it, you'll probably forget it by tomorrow. Our brains are hardwired to keep us feeling separate. It's how we survive. But for a few minutes today, you allowed yourself to see past the curtain. You allowed the I to expand. If this perspective shifted something in you, or if you felt that strange spark of recognition while watching, then our shared intellect has done its work. Thank you for embarking on this journey with yourself. In a world that tries so hard to pull us apart, I appreciate you being here to remember how we are held together. If you want to keep exploring these glitches in reality with me, don't forget to subscribe. It's the easiest way to keep our signal alive across the many lives we lead. Until we meet again, and we will, in one form or another, take care of yourself, because literally everyone is you.